Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today, Thursday, April 22nd, for this another series here with the Productivity is Our Product series by UZIN and, of course, our Wolf Tools. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking a little bit about our UZIN rapid systems. And our rapid systems involve not only product, but also services. I'm joined today by Jared, Ray, and Brian from our UZIN team. Jared and Ray are in Arizona. Brian is in Colorado. Myself, I'm in Waco, Texas. So we're a little spread out across the country, but we're going to hopefully bring some value to you and show you just a little bit how the UZIN rapid system can save you time, of course, ultimately saving you money, but also is part of our productivity series. So we're going to show you how to be productive with things. Before we get going, I hand the microphone off, I guess, to Brian Kent there, and allow some introductions here with Ray and Jared. Just want to kind of let you guys know the format here. We're going to save all questions till the end. There's a chat feature, or there's a question bar on your screen or on your mobile phone. Just type them in there, and at the very end, we're going to bring up questions, and we'll make sure to get all of them before the end of the day or before the end of the webinar. A recording of this webinar will be placed on our website, and so we'll have this a recording of that up there in case there's any colleagues that may have missed the webinar, or of course, if I want to just kind of reference it a little later after that. But with that, we'll get going, and I'll turn the microphone over to Brian Kent, as they say.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, very much for spending some time with us today. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Josh, for the introduction. We are excited to present to you our three rapid systems today. One of those being the UZIN self-leveling pump. Along with the other systems we're going to share today, we have on the left of the screen there the rapid waterproofing system. And here in the middle, we have the rapid moisture mitigation system.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Kent. I am the pump program manager at UZIN North America. I've been pumping concrete materials for about 26 years now. Been at UZIN for about 3.5. I just want to take a moment to let you take a screenshot of my information. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Jared Higley. I've been with UZIN now for 5 years. Prior to that, I've been in the world of flooring. I'm a third-generation floor covering installer, so it's pretty much all I know. I eat, sleep, and drink all things flooring.
And my name is Ray Darter. I've also been a technical rep with UZIN for about 5 years now, and 2 of those here in the Phoenix Southwest area. Prior to that, working in the Southern California area. And just want to say that it is truly a joy for us to introduce new products and systems to the installer and contractors and see them succeed with those products on the job site. And we hope to do that today. Before we get into the systems, we want to share with you today a little bit more about UZIN. UZIN is a 4th-generation family-owned company that is listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. We have over 1,000 employees and manufacturing plants and offices worldwide. As you can see there, the different locations that we have. Here in North America, we have the brands UZIN, Wolf, and Pullman. And throughout the rest of the world, we also have Arturo, Codex, RZ, and Pyarito brands. That leads us to say that UZIN offers more. We have more products, more products within those brands to offer more solutions. We have more support from our technical representatives. We have technical representatives all throughout the United States that are available to be on job sites to give confidence that the systems are being applied according to specifications. We have more innovation. On the top right-hand corner there, that top picture, we have a remote-controlled floor stripping machine. The innovation, that's the technology that's in our products. We consider ourselves leaders in the technology aspect of our industry. And then more services. And we're bottom right corner there, we have a picture of the UZIN pump. We're going to be talking about that today, but that's a service that can benefit you on job sites with time savings and labor savings. That leads us to say that UZIN truly does offer more. We're also very excited to announce a new $34 million manufacturing plant in Waco, Texas. 125,000 square foot facility. We're going to be manufacturing self-leveling and patching compounds, as well as thin set mortars and grouts there at that facility, as well as other lines in the future. So we're excited to share that news. We're really looking forward to that plant getting up and going. And with that, there's a lot of exciting things happening at UZIN. We want to share with you our first rapid system. It's the waterproofing system. And within this system, we have three components. We have CX33, which is our rapid setting mortar. We have the HydroStop waterproof membrane, which is the green roll you see there on the left. That's for waterproofing in the shower applications. And we have a unique product called BST waterproof peel and stick tape, seam tape, pardon me. Let's talk a little bit about the waterproof system in general. Here's the components for the system, but what is HydroStop? It is a waterproof sheet membrane that is bonded to walls and pans topically with cement-based mortars and adhesives. All of the joints on the membrane are overlapped or they're butted together and gone over the top with seam tape. We use pre-manufactured inside and outside corners to seal those corners. We have a mixing valve and a pipe collar, as well as a drain collar there to complete the different components of the system. So what we have with this system is a complete waterproof barrier from topical moisture intrusion. With our rapid system, we want to bond these components of the waterproof system, the HydroStop system, with CX33. CX33 is our speed set. We can grout in as little as 2.5 hours, but it's so much more than that. We can use this for vertical applications with large format tile based on the non-sag characteristic of this mortar. We have excellent vertical hold here with this mortar. It's a very fine, very smooth, which we show there for easy handling with the trowel. But beyond that, we can use it for any size tile. We can use it for small tile installations as well as large tile installations. Let's talk a little bit more about the membrane itself, the HydroStop membrane itself. It's a polyethylene sheet system. The fabric allows us to get a really good bond to our substrate, as well as the thin set bonding with tile to the membrane itself. We get a really good bond with that fabric. But we're not just doing standard waterproofing with this. We are meeting and exceeding the different standards that are out there, from the ANSI 11810 to the ME code EC1 Plus and the ASTM E96. ASTM E96, we've got a perm rating of 0.05, and that test, that ASTM E96, is measuring materials permeable value under set conditions. So what does that 0.05 mean? Well, anything 0.5 and below can be used for waterproofing in a steam shower application, even commercial steam shower applications, without the need of a secondary waterproof membrane. Okay, so we're well below that benchmark. We're at 0.05. The ANSI 11810, this is the standard that our industry uses for waterproofing membranes. We're meeting expectations with no fungus growth, with no water penetration with the waterproofness test. But then we're exceeding expectations with our breaking strength. The 11810 calls out for 170 pounds. We're at 865 pounds breaking strength. It calls out for 8 pounds of, seam strength, and we're at 48 pounds with seam strength. So we're exceeding that standard. The final standard there is the ME code EC1 Plus. This is measuring emissions in products. We're at 0 VOCs, and the EC1 Plus is the highest standard that can be achieved and we're at zero VOCs with that product. So we have a high performing waterproof membrane here that goes beyond residential showers into commercial steam showers. And the final component of our system, we have the BST 150 waterproof seam tape. No cure time. That's the important part of this product. No cure time. We can peel and stick and put this down over our change in plane where our wall meets our pan. Any seams that we're using, we can that are butting up against each other, we can use this to go over the top with no cure time. And when we're utilizing these components, we have no downtime. We can flood test immediately with the use of CX33, HydroStop, and BST 150. Here we can see a picture of a diagram of the system, right? We can see the change in plane from walls to pans. We can see the seam tape there. This is what we're looking to achieve with this system. And where can we use this system? We can use it in residential, commercial showers, multifamily, hospitality, commercial. And again, we're going beyond typical showers to commercial and commercial steam showers. And here's one that we were a part of at Mountainside Fitness here in Phoenix. This is a great representation of the system with CX33 used to bond the HydroStop and the seam tape used, the peel and stick seam tape used over the top. And this is a commercial shower. And then we have the Champions Golf Club in Houston that we were a part of as well. We've been using hospitality with the Westin and Tempe, and also a multifamily project here in Phoenix. So these are all systems that we've been a part of, projects that we've been a part of with this system. So what can we take away from this system? Well, we have a high performing waterproofing system. We're going beyond standard waterproofing in showers to commercial steam showers. We're ready for tile installation or flood testing immediately after waterproofing installation. This eliminates downtime and allows for fast track installations to meet extreme deadlines. So what is our proposition for you for productivity? Well, the HydroStop rapid waterproofing system, we can install and flood test immediately rather than waiting for mortar to cure prior to flood testing. This can typically save 12 to 24 hours of downtime. This helps us meet job deadlines and gets us to the next project sooner, thus completing more projects and making the contractor more profitable.
Thank you, Ray. All right, let's talk a little bit about rapid moisture mitigation. Here we have the pictures for the system for a rapid setting moisture mitigation. Starting in the bottom left, you'll see a 2-tube resin there that's mixed. It's our KR518. We have in parentheses as needed. We'll go into a little bit with that, but that is a 2-component resin-based joint filler. The silver can there is PE460. That is our two-component, 100% solids, 100% RH moisture tolerant epoxy. And then the accelerators in the little brown box, that is a additive that we can add to the epoxy to accelerate the cure time on that. The epoxy comes in two sizes. We have a 2.5 gallon kit, which is what's shown there. We also have a single gallon kit. When you're adding accelerators to this product, you're going to want to go 2 bottles for a 2.5 gallon kit and 1 bottle for a single gallon kit. Next is our non-porous primer, the PE280 in the square bucket in the bottom right hand part of the screen. That is a strictly non-porous primer. Suitable to go over the PE460 epoxy. And then last but certainly not least is the NC172 rapid setting premium plus self-leveling compound. All right, so let's talk about the beginning, KR518. This is a resin that we use to fill the saw joints, fill the cracks prior to the application of moisture mitigation and prep compounds. It is an interior exterior rated product. As it is mixed and applied in a spiral tube, it comes out with a very low viscosity, almost water-like is what I've been told. And this is good for deep penetration of the joints so that we make sure we get good body in those joints and those cracks. It's It's also got a very high compressive strength, which is very, very necessary. Having this high compressive strength is not going to be a weak point in the system. If this joint filler were to be a soft joint filler and we had some heavy point loads rolling over it, we could potentially crack our topical moisture barrier, which would then totally defeat the purpose of the system. All right, PE 460 with the accelerators. As I said before, PE 460, it's a 2-component epoxy resin, and it's used to block that 100% RH. When you add the accelerators in this, we're taking a cure time of typically 10 to 14 hours roughly, depending on substrate temperature, depending on ambient temperature. Adding this accelerator is going to cut it down to 3.5 hours, which is one of the fastest setting epoxies that I'm aware of that is cured, ready to go over the top of. With these products, a lot of times with epoxy, you have the worry or the fear that it's going to stink. It's going to have a very high VOC rating. We have a very low VOC rating on our epoxy. It is LEED certified, so you're not going to fill the air with a very smelly material there. And then the workability of the product. It is a very, very fluid material after it's been mixed. So you're not troweling and struggling to get this product out and onto the floor. It's very, very workable, easy to spread. The PE 280, this is what we talked about before as well. This is strictly a non-porous primer. So we are only applying this primer over non-porous surfaces. So the 460, once cured, it is now a non-porous surface. We do need to use the PE 280 on top of that for our bonding primer. It has a carbon fiber technology in it, much like a gridded sand in the primer, that when you roll or apply this with a 3/8 snap nylon roller, you're going to get a well-keyed surface. You're going to get a rough surface similar to the texture of sandpaper. This is going to allow your prep compounds to stick with a very, very good bond and give some aggregate there for the product to stick. One thing I will say, that if you get this product on your job, prior to applying it directly to the floor, you are going to want to stir that bucket. There is some settling that happens down in the base of the bucket where that carbon fiber, that sand sits down in the bottom. You want to stir it, agitate it, get it well mixed and thoroughly mixed into the primer. And then to go along with this, if this would not be a rapid setting system if we didn't have a fast cure. So you can see there at the bottom bullet point, approximately 45 minutes. This is going to save us a ton of time to be able to get right back onto this primer in a very short period of time to apply our prep compound. And this is our prep compound. This is NC172. This is a rapid setting self-leveling compound. This is a extremely smooth and cover ready surface. It gives you an extremely smooth cover ready surface. And here's the kicker: ready for floor covering in as little as 1 hour for moisture sensitive flooring. That is incredible. And to my knowledge, again, I don't know of another self-leveler that is achievable to cover in as little as an hour. And then the high compressive strength. We're going to be able to put this in areas subject to high point loads, heavy wheel traffic. This is a very, very dense material, very strong material. Here's a picture of the progression of the system, starting from right going left. We have the concrete substrate, and you can treat this substrate as with the KR518 as needed for those cracks and joints. And then moving onward to the left side, our PE 460 primer with the accelerator. After that's cured, PE 280 super fast primer, finally finishing it off, smoothing out the surface, getting it cover ready with the NC 172 self-leveling compound. So where do we have opportunities for this? Well, moisture is a major problem in this continent, or this country. We see all across the United States and North America, moisture is constantly creating and causing and wreaking havoc on flooring. So medical facilities, sometimes hospitals don't even want to try to roll the dice, if you will, without putting a moisture system down. They say, no, this is a requirement. We need moisture systems. We don't want this to ever fail. So go ahead and fix it and make sure that it's not going to be a problem for us. public and federal projects, government buildings, schools, things like that, post offices, night work, commercial and retail. These are all opportunities to where if we run into a problem, we have a speed or a rapid setting system that can get these projects turned around with a relatively short amount of time. So here's some of the jobs that we've done. This is the Stream Data Center. This is a 20,000 square foot, one giant square room, a dream job when it comes to applying anything really. You want just a nice big wide open room. This was it. Like I said, it's 20,000 square feet. You can see the joints were treated and prepped prior to the application of the epoxy. And here in the next slide, you actually see the epoxy coming out of the can and being applied, and then nice big shots of the job completely covered, showing the reflection of the lights. It's just a very beautiful job. It was a pleasure to be a part of. Some of the features and benefits of this system: these fast curing components, we're all about meeting demand, and being in the flooring trade, we are usually the last ones on the job. We're constantly having to make up time from what other trades fell behind on, and general contractors will look to us, will push us to get the job done fast. Well, typically we take on these challenges, and maybe we're using products that aren't really meant to be used in those applications. So the flooring contractors rolling the dice. They're saying, hey, we got to get it done. We got to do what we got to do. We're going to push the envelope here, and now we're installing products outside of data sheet limitations. So having these fast curing components can meet these projects with the comfort and peace of mind, knowing that we're doing it properly. And then the downtime that we save. In between these products, you saw the 460, 3.5 hours later, we can prime. 45 minutes after that, we can pour. An hour after that, we can crack open a bucket of adhesive. I mean, we're giving a floor 4 hours, roughly 4.5 hours, to start spreading adhesive. That's incredible. We're in the same working day, controlling moisture and prepping a floor and putting the floor back down. It's just an incredibly fast system. And then, like I said before, taking less risk of installing over the green products. You know, we don't want to push the envelope using products that are not designed to be installed over in these short periods of time. Use the products as they are designed. So productivity, that's what we're all encouraging our working partners to increase. We want to increase your productivity. So with these fast curing components and the lack of waiting in between applications, we're getting on it faster. We're gonna create a progression of the install to be extremely more efficient. And you know, the time that we pick up, minimum a day. So I can't stress it enough how much time savings we save with this system. So we're going to show you a video here. This is just kind of a quick little rundown of how this product is installed. All right, so that's kind of a basic rundown. That showed a primer method with a broadcast of sand in it as well. If you have questions about that primer method, go ahead and type those questions in the question box. We can answer that towards the end of it. That's just a kind of a different method that we didn't really touch on. So if you have any questions for that, just go ahead and type it in. Next up is BK.
Thank you, Jared and Ray. I want to say good morning to everybody again, or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. Once again, my name is Brian Kent. I'm the manager of the in-house program here at UZIN North America. Going to have a quick presentation today. There are going to be some videos. I have some specific jobs I picked out to show you and walk you through the process because there's many facets I want to go over in a quick amount of time. Let's start off with general pump information. What do you need to pump? Okay. And how does this tie into our productivity series? Well, Jared and Ray already gave you these fast track systems for fixing substrates and preparing them for finished goods. Well, placement of the materials, that fits right into that productivity column. So to try to simplify things, what do we need to pump? We need power, people, powder, and water. And right here, you're going to show, you see two examples of the machines we run here at UZIN North America, both made by Graco. The one to the right, we call the V-Raptor 40, which is an MP40. And the one to the left, we call the Micro Raptor, which is an SL340E from Graco. Okay, let's go over the V-Raptor details. Okay, this is a gravity-fed automatic mixing pump. Really love this machine. It's lightweight, it's versatile, it fits through regular doorways. It does require 243 phase power with 30 amp breaker. We've had a lot of success with this machine, not just on grade, but also vertical push, which we're going to show you some slides coming up. That's just a quick rundown of this machine. We'll get more in depth in later slides. Okay, historic renovation. This is the Wonder Bread factory in Toledo, Ohio. And there is a reason, many reasons I picked out this job site. Okay, they reached out to us and said, look, we have no elevator. We have to get 27 skids of material up 2-3 stories into this old building. We need some help. So their first step was they reached out to their local sales rep. Listen, before you think you can't do it or your crew can't do it, call us. And you're going to hear me say that a lot throughout this presentation. Okay, this job was poured in about 9 hours and 25 minutes, 23 to 25 skids of material, and that is with washout. If you notice, we have the machine set up down on the sidewalk, and our ingress point is on the second floor through a broken window. The picture to the right, you'll see how far horizontally we went out after our vertical push, just to give you an idea what this machine is capable of. And I also want you to note the substrate in the picture to the right. There's part of this substrate that was part of the original superstructure, which dates back over 100 years. Okay, so left to right. Let's start with the left picture. That is us installing the self-leveling material. I just wanted to show the cure process, what it looked like after, and I just thought this was really neat because it's the second floor where the oven used to be. One interesting point about this crew and this project, this crew has never ever prepped or poured self-leveling in their life, let alone pumped it. So keep that in mind. Next slide. Here's a quick video just to walk those of you, some of you may have pumped, some of you may not have, but if you enjoy this, it's always fun watching, and everybody loves videos and pictures. This shows the V-Raptor, the MP40 in action. Okay, it looks like we don't have sound for this one, so I'll go ahead and walk you through it. As you can see, we have a nice tidy job set up there. The material is staged close to the machine, so the guys that are actually physically breaking the bags don't have to walk 10 and 20 feet and trip over the hoses. It's for safety and accessibility reasons. There's our install area. As you can see, we have nice reflections in the product. Another thing I want to note about this job is these guys are communicating with two-way radios, same as this job in this video. Very important not to use your cell phones, everybody out there that's listening. It doesn't work, it's going to frustrate you, and it's dangerous. Please go to a local hardware store, spend the 40 or 50 bucks on some two-way radios. Make sure they're charged the night before, okay? Because communication it ties right in with safety, okay? As you can see, there's our install area as well. Okay, let's move on. The little Micro Raptor. This is a handy little machine. Crews love it because you can simply plug it into the wall, 110 outlet. There's a green button for on, a red button for off, and a dial for your speed, okay? This thing is a small machine that really packs a punch. It can go vertical to 3 stories, has no problem pumping through 400 feet of delivery system. Okay, this is a great, for instance, for this little Micro Raptor machine. As you can see, the 2 mixing vessels, which you need for this machine, it's not an automatic mixing pump. They went with the 2 Mega Hippos. I love this picture because of the tidy setup and housekeeping. Everything's elevated off the ground on skids. You can tell this is a well-practiced crew that's ready to do this installation in a professional manner. You're going to see some pictures of this job site moving forward that show the interior and just why this machine helped us so much. This house was actually built on a hillside, and it was either 3 or 4 stories vertical that overlooked Los Angeles, California. So here you are on the inside of the of this structure. This machine was so handy because there were pushes of 3 and 350 feet to access all the points of this house, and that little machine struggled not one little bit. It pumped it all day long, twice on Sunday. Let's watch a little video of this little UZIN Micro in action. Turns out we didn't have any volume on this video either. But this is you'll see the small setup, and here's the installation area. It looks like they're only pushing about 100 feet in this job. But it shows that if your crew's not quite ready for 200 bags an hour in these giant installs, this machine is nice, easy, versatile. You can fit in the back of a pickup truck, and all the guys are very confident using it. We've had many crews that doubted themselves. They make the phone call and they decide that they love using them. So it's good stuff. All right, pump summary fits right into our productivity product. I start with the 4th one because time is money, right? Time savings with the machine. We on that one job, the Wonder Bread factory, they estimated we saved them 6 to 7 days just to what they would have had to manually bring the material upstairs. So meeting deadlines. Listen, by the time you get to placing the material, you've done 90% of the hard work and paid attention to all the details in your prep and using the other products to get ready to pour your self-leveling. All you have to do is make sure you have a tight-knit team that communicates, pays attention to the small details, and the placement of the material is just as easy as barrel mixing.
Okay, thank you, BK. Really appreciate that. So let's talk about the value here. What are we trying to show you? We're showing you that there are wills. Where there's a will, there's a way, and there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to getting these projects done. Whether it's rapid waterproofing, rapid moisture mitigation, or pumping a very large amount of product, we have solutions for you. So give us a call. You saw our contact information. If you live in our local territory, look us up. We have an app too. If you're out of our personal territories, being Ray's, myself, and Brian Kent's, if you're outside of that territory, download the app. There is a nice little feature on there where you can look up your local territory rep. Just type in your zip code and it'll pull up the closest rep to you. And get familiar with us. Put us on a job, put us to the test. Well, we have very well-trained and experienced reps all across the nation, from all across the United States on up into Canada as well. So give us a shot. That's what we're looking for.
And before we close, we also ask that you would consider Wolf Tools, which is part of our parent company, UZIN. And they have great tools for floor stripping machines to grinding machines. As you can see there on the left, we have the Neo grinder, great machine, great technology in that. We ask that you give us an opportunity and reach out to your Wolf representatives as well, with Corey Dickerson and Joe List. They're great guys that love to be on job sites, love to show what the Wolf tools can do, how they can benefit you on the job site. Thank you for watching very much. We appreciate you. Please follow us on our social media, and you can also sign up for product updates and more. With that, we'll hand it over to Josh Newberger.
Yeah, guys, first of all, very good job. Hopefully everybody learned just a little bit more about some of our rapid systems, especially when it comes to incorporating the pump in it. Gonna just go now. We got quite a few questions in here, so just want to start a little conversation here. Ray or Jared, question for you. What is the mix time of KR 518 again?
Well, it mixes as it's applied. So it comes with a spiral nozzle that as you put it into a double tubed caulking gun, you attach a nozzle that has spiral attachments inside of that tube. So there is no mixing time, really. Once you've got that product coming out of the tube, it is mixed.
Gotcha. And we just have to use up what's in the tube, or of course those tubes are disposable and so forth. So it's pretty much ready to go. So what is the cure time then when we start talking about some of our rapid systems? And basically the question is, what is the cure time on the fast cure, which I mean we could equate to 460 or 172. What are some cure times there? And I know it depends on depth, of course, temperature, humidity, and so forth. But just walk us through some of the dry times, or better put, ready for floor covering times.
Yeah. So the epoxy unit accelerated that we saw in the presentation is 3.5 hours. It might be delayed a little bit doing this in the middle of winter, and we have a colder slab with colder ambient conditions. So you can experience a little bit longer of a cure time. Same thing goes with the NC 172. I would say your typical nominal 1/4 inch pour, you're going to be right at that hour, maybe hour and a half. As you get thicker, it will take a bit longer, and ambient conditions play a role in that. What's the temperature of your water that you're mixing out? What's the temperature of the substrate? All those play a part in it, but in the general broad scope, 3.5 hours on the epoxy, 1 hour on the self-leveling compound, and then Ray with the tile systems grouting the CX33 in as little as 2.5 hours on that.
That's great. PE 460 VOC compliant for occupied spaces. And
yes.
Is a question. Good.
Yes. Yeah. I believe the data sheet calls out less than 10 grams per liter. I've been on job sites, specifically one just recently down in Tucson, where the customer said, "That's epoxy?" Yeah, that's epoxy. Why doesn't it stink?
It's very low odor.
Very low.
I mean, we hear from customers all the time. That's one of the things they like about it. Very low odor. It's easy to spread all the things that Jared laid out, but very, very low VOCs as well.
Gotcha. What is the surface prep? Can you kind of walk us through the surface prep again for the PE 460? Just kind of walk us through that whole concept and thought process there.
Yeah, so you want to get the concrete clean and porous. That is the two major keys. And then we have what's called a CSP rating, or a profile. The CSP is an acronym. It stands for concrete surface profile. And if you're familiar with those, it goes from 1 all the way up to 10. We're looking for a 2 to 3. And that's not a 2 to 3 with adhesive residue in it. We can't have any adhesive residue in there. We want to get down to bare concrete. We want to eliminate all the contaminants, whether it's overspray from an existing job, whether it's adhesive from older floor coverings. We want to get that completely removed out of there and get to a key textured surface that will mimic a CSP 2 to 3, and the porosity. Porosity is huge. You gotta make sure that you're accepting water penetration, because if you're not, you could still have a contaminant that's not visible by the eye. You could have a curing compound, you could have a penetrating sealer that you can't see, that would not allow the epoxy to bond properly.
And I'll add to that, previous patching compounds can be removed as well. You know, you can have a divot in that substrate, in that concrete, and somebody could have gone in with a gypsum patch or a cementitious patch and filled that in. We got to get in sometimes with the hammer and chisel to chisel that out of the substrate. We don't want these patching compounds in that substrate.
Yeah, it's an excellent point there, guys. Excellent point. All right, going down the road here. Does UZIN have any polish overlays for any of their products?
Yes, yes, we do. We are limited on our 157. We want to really qualify the contractor of that that is qualified and experienced with polishing. It's not your typical floor covering guy that is familiar with polishing. That's a whole nother world. We do have our NC 157. It is a 2-inch depth limitation product that can receive a polish. It does have a aggregate to it. If we were to talk a little bit about polishing, the aggregate is more of a salt, not so much a pepper. So there is a white hue to it, not so much a black hue that creates that pepper to it. But it is an option to polish or to do a polish overlay.
Gotcha. Good deal. Does PE 460 work with any other systems? If I have to patch the floor, is it okay to patch before the PE 460 application? I know you kind of answered this in a previous question, but I could probably jump here and answer this question, but we're gonna ask the experts there on the webinar panel. What do we want to do first? Moisture vapor retarder and then patch, or patch and then moisture vapor retarder?
So typically you're going to do your moisture vapor retarder and then patch, but we've recently launched a product in NC 890 that we can use underneath moisture systems in well-defined areas. So this isn't something that we're going to go ahead and get the floor to our CSP2 or CSP3 and then skim coat that floor to maximize our coverage. We don't want to see that. But if we have gouges in the concrete that are deep, if we want to pack in on heavy cracks and get these areas where our moisture mitigation could potentially fall through and create a void, we can absolutely use the NC 890 in that application prior to the epoxy moisture mitigation. But again, this is not a blanket coat that we're going to put on the substrate. This is to fix heavily damaged areas and well-defined areas prior to putting this down, because if you have big divots in these concretes and you have big gouges in your substrate, you can chew up a lot of epoxy that maybe you didn't bid for. So you want to fix those so you're not puddling large amounts of epoxy in those areas, maybe even filling up with the joint filler in KR 518. You're running through bottles you just didn't plan on it. So you can use that to help achieve the data sheet coverage, but again, definitely not a blanket coat.
Gotcha. Good deal. Talking about our warranty system, one of the questions, does UZIN offer on-site moisture testing to the warranty with the PE 460?
We don't require moisture testing. The PE 460 goes up to 100% RH. Now, that's that's what we cover. We're not going to cover a water occurrence, pardon me. We're not going to cover hydrostatic pressure. So for us, we're going up to 100% RH. We don't require a moisture test. It's good practice to do a moisture test, though. You can educate your end user and even your GC about why it's important to do it, but we don't require it for a warranty with PE 460.
Cool. Are we able to broadcast rock and glass into the 157 at all?
At your own peril. I am actually doing that on a personal project of myself at my own personal residence. I'm going to be experimenting with the product myself to see how that looks. I've seen pea gravel broadcasted into the product where we were able to polish that, and it came out really nice. If you guys want to reach out and see the pictures of that, I can show you pictures of testing boards that we've done. Absolutely. But that's something that is nowhere qualified or clarified in the data sheet. So officially, you're on your own.
Gotcha. Filling control joints with PE 460. Can you walk us through that process just one more time? It looks like we got another question on that.
Yeah, so the technical term that I most use when I'm on the job site is chasing the joints out. A lot of times during the construction process, there's tons of debris, whether it's dirt, whether it's drywall, dust and fragments packed in there, screws from studs being put together. I mean, these joints, you got guys walking all over the place, stuff gets kicked into those joints. You want to chase out those joints with a grinder, clean them out. You can get a 5-in-1 tool, vacuum them out, get them very good and clean, and then make sure that you have it all the debris cleared out of there that could potentially inhibit a good sound bond of the 518. The data sheet calls out, I believe, 24 linear feet per bottle or per double kit at 1 inch thick. So if your joint is deep, or maybe it's all the way through, you might want to mitigate that, because you'll spend a lot of joint filler if you're not paying attention to how deep that crack is. So you want to make sure that you do some backfilling, either with some sand or put some backer rod there, something to stop that flow from, maybe potentially running out and never ever filling up, because it's just filling up underneath the slab down on the soil. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to that, mitigate those concerns, and not lose a bunch of material.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's switch over to the pump program just for a few minutes here. Couple questions. I'm going to lump them together for you, Brian. What are we talking about? Renting the pump, prices to rent the machines, all that kind of stuff. How quickly are they available? And is there any type of minimum pallet order required? Just kind of walk us through that process a little bit, Brian.
Okay, all really good questions. What we're doing is we're slowly rolling out the pump program we launched in the West, just to test it out and get the bugs worked out of it, so to say. The sales reps in your area are the ones to contact. They'll know about the charging $1 a bag. That's our rate. Say to qualify people, I say anything less than 10 skids. You could look at both machines, but you don't really want to pump with a 200 bag an hour machine anything less than 8 or 10 skids of material. You could do it either by barrel or with the Micro Raptor. So that's what I tell people. If you're going to use an MP40 or the V-Raptor 40, as we call it in-house at UUNA here, you want 10 skids or more to utilize a machine like that. The buck a bag is as simple as it sounds. We charge $1 per UZIN bag of material pumped through the machine, and your local sales rep can give you all the details you need on that. Availability. Right now, we're launched in the West. We're in the middle of circulating a handful of different machines around. We're not officially launched in the Midwest, in the East, or the South. That is in the works. We have a short timeline on that of about mid-year this year, we're hoping. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. It's first come, first serve. Our guys and our team are very good at sharing the equipment and making sure jobs are covered. So I always encourage, if you have a job, even if you don't have a pump in your warehouse, if your customer calls you and gives us enough time, a lot of times we're able to put something together for them. Hopefully that answers all those questions.
Yeah, I think so. No, it's great way to put it, Brian. And as you mentioned, best thing to do is just get a hold of your local UZIN sales representative or your local distributor representative. They're going to be able to walk you through the process. We ship these pumps all over the West Coast. Brian's constantly on the phone, kind of going back and forth with logistics and making sure the pumps are where they need to be, and so are our local guys. So we're more than happy to accommodate where we need to. And as Brian mentioned, if you're not on the West Coast right now, stay tuned, because we are rapidly bringing the pump program on board nationwide. So two other quick questions here. One, I think I can answer, but I'm going to ask for Ray and Jared to kind of expound on our warranty just a little bit. Of course, our UZIN primers, warrantable over other people, competitors' products. And the answer, as you mentioned, Jared, you're on your own accord when it comes to that. However, if you guys could, let's just review our 10+ warranty on a lot of our UZIN classic products there.
Well, yeah, we'll warrant our products. We like to see full systems used if possible. But our warranty is, all of our products have a 10-year warranty on them. When we're getting into systems, when we're using a full system like the Rapid or the Rapid waterproofing or Rapid moisture mitigation system, we're giving a 10-year warranty plus 10 on top of that when we're utilizing. I guess the whole sandwich is UZIN, right? All the products from top to bottom are UZIN. We're able to give a 20-year warranty for that. Jared, the system that Jared shared, we can offer a limited lifetime warranty with. Well, excuse me, it's a lifetime of the floor warranty with that system. So we have different warranties that are out there. Besides that, we can, see what's needed for the job, what the architect's requesting, and we can get with our technical and we can write warranties, job site specific warranties for you as well.
If I could just add to that, when you're going, we as flooring contractors, you may find yourself where you're in a pinch, you're in a bind, you're having to use brand A primer with brand Z leveler. It's never advised from any representative of any manufacturer to mix their products to try to create your own system. Sometimes we'll have guys say that, oh, if I use this with this and this, it's the best. It never fails. Okay, that may be, it never fails, and but you got to qualify. You got to qualify that as yourself on your own as a professional. I highly recommend doing bond tests to ensure that those products are going to bond and mesh well with each other, because when you add other manufacturers to we'll just call it your own system, if they're not liking each other and they disbond and you try to call those manufacturers out, all we're going to do is point the finger at each other. It's their fault. No, it's their fault. So keeping that system keeps the liability under one blanket. It's always advisable and best practice to do system installations. You eliminate the chance of products maybe not bonding or meshing well with each other. But if you're forced, if you are insistent, whatever the case may be, do proper bond testing. Make sure that these products are compatible with each other. And then, if you're willing to roll the dice and take on that liability, fine, so be it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well put. Two last things. One's a question, one's a comment, and I'll take the question. With a lot of the shortages out there in the building materials, how's UZIN dealing with all this? And the short answer is, we have been affected a little bit, and more on a logistics thing. There's a lot of different factors right now with containers and shipping and everything like that. But we have an excellent vice president of operations that's monitoring that situation closely, works very well with our team in Germany for any materials that are produced over there. And so really, we haven't been affected too much by by any of the shortages. We're never afraid to air freight something in if we have to. And we've done that in circumstances just to make sure that we have product for our contractors. So just another thing that we can do, and kind of as Ray and Jared mentioned before, UZIN offers more. We definitely want to make sure we can logistically provide product for you. Last is a comment here by Kenny. He says, Jared and Ray, they do a really nice job in the Arizona territory. So kudos to you guys there. And you may owe Kenny just a few dollars under the table after that one. Just kidding.
Wow.
just kidding. You guys do a wonderful job. Ray, Jared, Brian, we're out of time. We're out of questions. Any last thoughts here before we depart for the day?
We're just very thankful for everybody's time today and appreciate all the partnerships that we have with all our customers.
Likewise.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody and thank Ray, Josh, and Jared. Thank you all for your time this morning. Really enjoyed it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you again for joining us today on this webinar on our UZIN Rapid Systems. Again, a recording of this will be placed on our website by early part of next week. And you can share that with your colleagues or review for your own information. Stay tuned. We have some more webinars scheduled for the next few weeks, both on our Wolf Tool side and also on our UZIN side. And with that, we wish everybody a great day and thank you again for joining us. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.